The first part of running your fire flow analysis is to actually look at a completely other part of the project, and that is to look at the reticulation itself. Is it in order? Are you happy with it? Look, there might be changes with your reservoir capacities after you've run the analysis, or maybe you have got an existing network and you're going to have to build a new reservoir to make changes for perhaps your town's got new specs for firefighting. The first point is to run a analysis on your water network. So we'll just make sure we're in water mode still, and we're going to go to analyze, and we're going to run a time simulation. So we'll do that over 24 hours with increments of every 15 minutes. I'll then press start and check for messages to see if there's any issues on the water network. With no errors, we can close this. With that analyzed now, let's go in and zoom into our reservoir. You can see I've got my reservoir over here, and if I select it, we can go and look at the graph over 24 hours. Remember, when it comes to water, the values that you see on your screen are related to 1/15 increment in a 24-hour period. So it is always good to rather look at a pipe or a node or a reservoir or a pump station over in a graph where you can get to see the full 24-hour event taking place. So here you can see at about midday the reservoir gets quite low, and then I've got a switch on the valve to start pumping water or start bringing water into the reservoir. This could be a switch if it's a bulk line that you're bringing the water from, or if it's a borehole or a pump station, it could be a control switch on that. So in this case, the reservoir isn't running out of water, it is getting to 1 meter deep, and then the switch is turning on the valve. This could be a problem if we're now going to bring in hydrants. We might need to switch it on earlier. So just take into mind that you need to actually cater for your reservoir when you've added your fire hydrants. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because we're dealing with liters per minute, I'm going to zoom in over here, and you can see currently I've got one of the pipes switched on, or displaying the category of pipe that this pipe is. So I'm just going to go over to my display settings. I'm going to go over to pipes, and for now we can actually just remove all of this, and I would like to show the flow in liters per minute. So I'll put there liters per min and say OK, and we can see that we've got 3 decimal places, so I'm probably not going to want to see all 3 decimal places, so I'll just change that 2.1, and here we can see the liters per minute. Probably just give it a space there. That looks a lot better. Great. Remember, the value that you see here is just one of the 15-minute increments in 24 hours. So you need to be able to select the pipe and go and look at it over a 24-hour period. So we can go and look at the graph of this pipe, and we can see that our flow in this case is liters per second, but you can see the highest flow rate is around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So let's go and have a look at what is that flow rate at 4 in the afternoon with liters per minute as our idea. So we'll go over to our water, we make sure that we're in the results tab, and we can expand our time simulation and go across to 4 o'clock. You'll notice once I've clicked on this, the value will change. So there you can see it's 482 liters per minute that is flowing in that pipe at 4 o'clock. So why I've brought you to this example and is because the maximum flow during a time simulation is the flow rate plus the fire hydrants flows that's going to take place during the simulation or the fire flow analysis. Great. I'm going to you can pin this. It's always good to remind to keep it open and to use it when using your water analysis. One other item to point out is when you are running your analysis and you happen to have the apply seasonal peak factor ticked on, which we won't do at this stage, it's another whole WebEx for another day. Just keep in mind that you need to think about the peak flow rate for that if it is ticked on. So if we have a look at the seasonal peak, we'll just change over to this seasonal peak and give it a time and go look at the graph. You'll see that at 9:15 is the highest peak, so we can go and look at 9:15. Just press. Now you can see what the peak is if you had the seasonal peak switched on. I'll close this and I'll go back to our 4 o'clock in the afternoon.